I saw one of them days. It's just one of them days.
Talk about it.
Kiki Palmer, SZA, buddy comedy, executive produced by Issa Rae, creator. Is that right? I don't have it in front of me right now. It's Issa Rae's movie. So,
Oh, you're saying she's also the creator?
isn't she? I just want to make sure I give her credit where right.
Let me find out
Um,
while you talk about it.
so we talked about this.
Let me
This
do
was
my
coming.
co-host duties.
Thank you. We talked about the fact that this movie was coming out. It came out last week. It's a buddy comedy. Basically, the plot of the movie, without giving out any spoilers, the plot of the movie is that
I mean, didn't the trailer tell us what the movie?
right. That's why I'm saying without giving any spoilers. I'm giving information that was already given to us. But the plot of the movie is that SZA and Kiki, they're best friends. They live together. And my echo is crazy today. So, SZA and Kiki, their characters are best friends. They live together. It's very reminiscent of Insecure. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's the same location that um, Issa's apartment in Insecure was where it was filmed, because it looks just like that. It was a similar setting, so I just remembered that because I'm an Insecure fan and I, watched all the seasons. So to me, it stood out. I feel like we're having so many technical issues. We don't
Let's
usually
just
have
keep
this many
going, man.
issues.
That's it.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Okay. So they live together, and I guess, SZA's boyfriend kind of weasels his way into living with them. And it's the first of the month. Apparently, Kiki's character gives, I don't remember their names right now. Kiki gives SZA her part of the rent and says, "Hey, make sure you pay Uche." I don't know why I remember the landlord's name and not remember their names on in the movie, but
That's fine.
um she's like, "Did you gave Uche the money?" And she's like, "Oh, no, no, yeah, I took care of it." And then you find out later on, which is in the trailer, you find out later on that she actually gave it to her man and told her man to give it to the landlord, which no one knows why, because it's the two of y'all on the lease. So why would he be giving the landlord the rent? Just didn't make any sense to me. Like, I have never, in all the years that I have lived on my own, I have never given anyone else my rent to pay for me. That just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense, but whatever. So, and come to find out, he didn't actually pay the rent. Instead, he went and bought some t-shirts
That's in the
so
trailer.
that he could sell. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was like, he was investing in their future. And so the movie is basically Kiki and SZA's characters going on all these hijinks, are going through all these hijinks throughout the movie, trying to come up with the money by the end of the day, because if they don't, they're going to be evicted, which, in real
So
life is
that's my
not
first question. Did they
actually.
owe?
No, it's just a movie. So it's like exaggerated. No one doesn't pay their rent on the first and gets, like, the landlord. This was the funny part, and I guess this is a spoiler, but the landlord is literally putting people's stuff outside on the first of the month when he doesn't get the rent by a certain time. That's what he was doing. So they came home at one point and all their stuff was out front. It's the first of the month. You're not getting evicted on the first of the month. Um but
Okay.
yeah, so it's ridiculous, right? But it's a movie, so I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, I know this isn't real, right? That wouldn't actually happen in real life, or it shouldn't actually happen in real life, which is kind of how they spin it, I guess. And um, so I thought they were great together. I thought they had great chemistry. Even when you watch like some of the promotional videos from different outlets where they've been
Yeah.
doing promo with Issa Rae, I just feel like they all have great chemistry. There's a lot of black girl energy in the room. There's a lot of comedic energy in the room, and it just seems like they just gelled really well.
Yeah.
Um, it's not hard to love Kiki on screen. She did what she does.
Right.
She's funny, she's witty, she's dramatic when she needs to be. And I thought SZA was great. I didn't know what to expect from SZA. I don't know her to be an actress, but I liked it. I thought she she did great at playing like the earthy chick. you know. She's the one who's like into like the pills and potions and yoga and
Got
stuff
it.
like that. So probably not that far fetched from who she is in real life.
Right.
But I thought that
What
they
else do you expect from an alien?
exactly. So I thought they did a great job together. Um I was about to say Kevin Hart. Cat Williams is in it.
Yep.
Um he has a role in it. He was funny, but I mean I just felt like his role was kind of like typical of what we've seen Cat Williams do in movies. Um
Yeah, it
I
looked
don't
that way from the trailer.
yeah. So I wasn't, I know the way he talks about himself in movies is like he gave us everything and then some. And I just same shit, different
Yeah.
day.
Can't help but get the hate off.
You know what? I come here to be honest and I come here to give my opinion and I'm gonna do that. Whether y'all like it or not. Okay?
All right.
I'm gonna stand in my truth. Um
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't I don't have beef with Cat Williams or anything like that. I just don't feel like I've ever seen him in a movie and been like, this was a phenomenal performance. I feel like he kind of plays the same roles in the movies he's been in, or similar roles, or his persona is similar. Maybe it's not the same exact person, but the persona is always kind of the same. So he didn't do anything unexpected. Also, I didn't think there was gonna be anything about this movie that was unexpected. This was we said this was a very typical buddy comedy. They did what they did. They went through their trials and tribulations, and then at the end, we come to some sort of conclusion. And that is how those movies go. I thought it was funny. I laughed a lot, actually. I laughed more than I thought I was going to laugh.
That's good.
I loved that. I mean, my theater wasn't crowded. I don't like to go to the movies when it's crowded, so it wasn't that many people there. But the people that were there were laughing just as much as I was, maybe a little bit more than I was. But I'm also difficult to please, so so I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. I thought it was witty. I thought there were a lot of um, black girl, black people references that I feel like if you're not black or don't understand black culture and you go see the movie, there may be some moments where you're like, "Huh? What does that mean? What
Like
did
the
she just
Jordans on
say?"
the wire.
Yeah, and like certain things that they would say, I just thought it was. I kind of like that when it's a little bit more deeply coded because
Right.
it feels like the
It's for us.
writers are talking to us. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Issa Rae is known for doing that. So again, wasn't unexpected. I
Right.
would have been surprised if it wasn't that way. But overall, I would say it was a fun film. It was a good film. I would watch it again. People said that they felt like it was supposed to be like Friday. And then I heard some other people say they feel like it was more like Harold and Kumar. I could totally see how it's like Harold and Kumar. Um, I
Okay.
know there's been some backlash about it. Some people have felt like
What was the backlash?
um some people feel that it is too stereotypical. It plays to
Okay.
it plays to stereotypes about black people living in the hood, black people, um, black women, and girls fighting over a man and stuff like that. And so some people were offended by it. apparently. They felt like this is not the way we should be portrayed. I'm gonna say something that those people probably not gonna like. We should be portrayed in many different ways. We are not one way or another. We
I
should
think that's a good
be
answer.
portrayed in all of the ways. Especially when it's coming from someone who loves us and tells our stories in a positive way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even at the end of the movie, when you get to the end of the movie and they kind of, have these revelations and um the conclusion kind of happens. I'm not going to give away how it ends, but I feel comfortable with what was written and what happened at the end. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I don't feel like they did these women a disservice by
Okay.
taking them through what they went through and then ending up where they ended up. I don't think there was any disservice there. I think people are very sensitive to making sure that our stories are told um in a way that portrays us in a good light. But I also think that sometimes people forget that sometimes we could just simply have fun and
Right.
we can and like one of those girls is like one of your cousins. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like they're not archetypes that we don't know. I think the argument is more that these archetypes are too common
Okay.
in the media. But I don't think that for the same reason that like someone like Issa Rae is out there. She doesn't
Mm.
only tell one story. She doesn't only portray one type of person. Um so I feel like that argument is tired. I feel like we have a lot of black creators out in the atmosphere at this point. And we have had like we often reference the sitcom era of the 90s and the early 2000s. Black people were all up and through sitcoms of the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and they were portrayed in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Athletes, working class families, wealthy families, like I just feel like yeah, we've never been the majority on TV, right? Like we're not always if you're flipping through the channels, we're not always the first face you see. But I don't think that means that we just don't have any representation of different types of people in our culture. So that criticism, I would say if you just want to see a funny movie, go see the funny movie and take it for what it is. Like, y'all don't watch Friday and go, since Friday was brought up, y'all don't watch Friday and go, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing.
Right.
Like, I just feel like I think sometimes we're a little too hard on ourselves. And if it's entertaining and it's entertaining to us and it was meant to entertain us, what's the beef?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think duality is important. I think you answered it perfectly when you said we should be displayed in all the ways.
Yeah.
If all the movies were black exploitation films, yeah, that would be problematic.
Yeah.
But we should be able to see each other and ourselves in many different facets as we are complex, layered individuals.
Yeah. And and people go through I mean, maybe not what they went through that day, but people go through the same thing that they went through. Like
Right.
it's relatable whether you like the way it was done or not. The topic of the dude running away with the money. Okay, let's say it wasn't him, it wasn't exactly that, but like people trying to figure out how they're gonna pay their rent every month. Like that's real.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Trying to come up in the world. You got a job and you're trying to do better and you're trying to get promoted or whatever, or you're an artist or a creator and you're trying to figure out how you could channel that and turn that into $1. Like, those are real things that's relatable content. I'm always gonna be here for relatable content.
Yeah, you're right. It is definitely relatable. Definitely have scrambled to pay some rent before.
I mean, listen, that's some real shit. I feel like we've all been there. So I don't know, but yeah.